Hey guys, Shuki here. I just wanted to give my quick review of the Razer Raiju Pro controller for the PlayStation 4. Now I have been using this controller quite a bit here over the last week, and I just want to give my thoughts about it, what I think, maybe pros, cons, things like that. It's overall, this is an excellent controller. It's a really great pro controller. If you're using a DualShock 4 now on the PS4 and you want to get something a little extra, something where you have back buttons and different options to program them, this is a great option to look at. So what I'm going to do today in my review is I'm going to kind of do like things I really like about the controller, and then maybe some things I kind of don't like so much. But there's nothing I really hated about it. It's an awesome controller. So just let me get that right off the bat. It's an awesome controller. So let's hop on into the rest of it. So starting off with the things I really liked about the controller. First off, it is made by Razer, which they make a lot of great gaming products. They came with some nice gaming stickers there, and also this really nice case. The case, it's a hard case, but it's also soft. It's real protective. It has you can keep the screwdriver in there, which allows you to remove the back buttons if you don't want to use them. Overall, it's an awesome case for carrying the controller, and you don't have to worry about it. First off, on the controller itself, I really like the USB cable. They give you a long USB cable. It's not proprietary. It's micro USB, so if you ever need to replace it, you can. But it is kind of like a square, like a long square cylinder tube here. I don't know. I know it didn't describe it well, but if you do replace it, you'll have to get one that'll fit in here, which I think is so it doesn't easily unplug on accident. But it's wired. It's a Pro controller, so it's usually wired, but the cable's braided, which is awesome. The next thing I really like on this controller are the joysticks. They feel great. They come with padding on them, which I haven't taken off because it just feels great. The grip is good. The movement's good. It feels like a DualShock controller, but just a little better, which is the way it should feel. And it's excellent when I'm playing games. I've tried it in Fortnite, Destiny, and all kinds of stuff. Another thing I like on this controller is the way the buttons click. Take a listen. I don't know, to me it makes it feel like I'm clicking a mouse, or it makes it feel more precise for some reason. I just really enjoy the way the buttons click like that. It also is the same on the back buttons, which I also really like, because another thing I really like about the controller is the back buttons. I like the way they sit on my fingers like this. It's just right where my fingers would lay. Obviously there's going to be a reason you would get them, but overall all the buttons feel really great. They're all accessible. So yeah, pretty good buttons on this, and we'll talk a little bit more about them later. Setting them up is easy. You just hold this button here, hold the button you want to change, and then just press the button you want to change it to. It'll vibrate, and you're all set. And you have two profiles you can set, so you can keep two saved profiles on the controller, or you can just kind of change them on the fly. One thing I can't really speak for, but I'm sure I would like if it worked, is the headphone port. On this controller, you have controls to mute and change the volume of your headphone if it's plugged in directly into the controller, but the 3.5mm port just isn't working on the one I have. I've tried multiple headsets and PS4s, and it's just not going to work. I don't know what's wrong with it. Also, the grips on here feel and look great, so it's a nice controller to hold. So overall, it's a really solid controller. I wish it was a little heavier. It is a little light. I wish you could change the weight in it like some other Pro controllers, but otherwise it's a little more heavier than the DualShock, so I definitely like it because I like heavier controllers. Now moving on to the things I kind of don't like about the controller. The first thing is the size of the buttons. I do wish the face buttons were a little larger, like the Nacon Revolution. They're a little small, and they're a little easy to press, a little too easy to press. I found myself accidentally hitting buttons at times, which I'm sure I get used to after more use. But another thing is over on the D-pad buttons are too difficult to press. They're opposite, which is kind of weird. I found it harder to press down those buttons, which I didn't really like all that much. Another thing I didn't really like is the top buttons on this controller. So this controller does have 4 programmable buttons. There's 2 on the back, which are fine. Those are okay. But the ones on the top are a little weird. They're hard to get to. They're inside the triggers, So you kind of have to reach over the triggers to get to them. And I found myself not wanting to use them all that much. I guess you get used to them. The only situation I found it might be handy is maybe in Destiny when I was playing PvP. I could be holding down one of the triggers and shooting and then also rezzing someone at the same time. But they're in a weird spot. I kind of wish it was four buttons on the back like some other Pro controllers rather than 2 on the back and 2 on top. Other than those small gripes, it's an excellent controller. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a Pro controller for the PS4, you like the way the DualShock is set up, this is a good step up. Add buttons to the back, get some more control, get some more weight, and I think it's an awesome controller. I'm going to be returning mine just because the headphone port doesn't work, and I'm going to be sticking with my my Nacon Revolution for now, because I'm used to that. But otherwise, I mean, this is an excellent controller. Anyone would do well with this controller, so check it out if you're interested. I got mine off Amazon because it's not available in stores in America. But otherwise, that's about it for now. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and go Shuki out.